Something I often see when I'm teaching is a lot of thumb tension, in the left hand. And so something I try to do with my students is to make sure that the thumb does not have to be clenched all the time. So maybe while they're playing, I might, come and actually take the thumb off. If they're fighting me, then that's a good indication that they feel they have to press, down into the side of the neck in order to successfully play that passage. So, you must have A to get B, to get that result. So if that's conditioned into your playing and into the choreography of your muscles, then we have kind of a chronic, habit and problem. So one thing you can do is just, slide and shift very, very lightly, so you can see, just slide like that. And another good thing you can do is while you're playing, you can, see if you can tap. So see how I can kind of like take my thumb off and on. It might not sound so good because it does affect the accuracy of your fingers, but the point is that you should be able to do it. Okay, so often during lesson, I might, my student might be playing a concerto and they might run it. So they're running it in the lesson, and I might get up and I might kind of like, tap their thumb, or I might move their elbow, because this is another place where people have tension, is right in the front, this area. So I might have them swing their elbow. So, I often go and kind of poke and prod, even during their run-through performance, their practice performance during the lesson, to make sure that they're not clenching onto a certain muscle. So while you're playing a passage that you know pretty well, try to see if you can take your thumb away and then put it back every so often. And then also there's the Galaxian Exercise. One of my childhood teachers named it that. It sort of sounds like a video game sound effect. So what you're gonna do is, practice shifting, but you're gonna put a trill on it. So let's take a trill anywhere. Make sure you use 2 fingers and trill it. And while you're trilling, you're going to slide. So it doesn't really matter where my thumb and where my hand is sliding. You can hear my trill that it's not becoming interrupted in any way. And when I ask students who have a bit of tension to do this, usually it sounds a bit jerky, like, and then they can't really have this, this fluid motion right there. So that's a really, really good indicator. So if you spot that in yourself, in your own playing, or your student, then what you do is you just have them put their bow down. It's always easier to not be listening to what you're doing. It's less stressful, and we tend to tense up less when we're not listening to a sound coming out of our instrument. And then what you do is first you get the bass finger, whatever the lower trill note is, and then you get that moving, and then you start tapping. You do the trill, and then see if you can lightly just keep everything very light. You don't even have to press the string down. So play around with that and see. It's really a good thing. It usually kind of exposes any areas of tension in that way. So try it out and let me know how it goes.